What's going on, guys? Snake Eyes here, playing some more Dark Souls 2. And in this video we're going to be doing a weapon showcase, and the weapon we're going to be showcasing today is the Drakeblood Greatsword. Now if you don't know how to get this weapon, all you have to do is pretty much reach the end of Dragon Sanctum. There's really not much else I could say about that. All you have to do is reach the end of the Dragon Sanctum, and you know that that's where you're at because it leads to the shortcut that is going to take you pretty much to the first bonfire that you ever encounter. Keep in mind that this is a DLC weapon, so if you don't have the DLC Crown of the Sunken King, then you can't get this weapon. If you don't have the DLC, then I definitely recommend picking it up because it's actually a pretty good one. But other than that, that's pretty much how you get this weapon. Now we're going to go ahead and go into the details of it. Since I've gotten this weapon, I've upgraded mine to +5, so my base damage is at 210. It also gets 50 points in damage of magic, and it also has 50 points in damage in lightning. This is something that's definitely unique. There are weapons out there that have base damage and then damage on pretty much another element. This one actually has damage on 2 different elements, which is kind of surprising, and it's actually going to be really interesting seeing exactly how builds are going to start treating this weapon. But going back to it, it has 110 in the counter strength, it does 35 poise damage per hit, it has 60 durability, and it weighs 6 pounds. The requirements for this weapon is that you need 20 strength and 18 dexterity, and it gets an E scaling in strength and an S scaling in dexterity. Now this actually makes me really happy because other than the Mirror Greatsword and the old Mirror Greatsword, there isn't another Greatsword out there that's actually a dex build. Seeing this one for a dex build and seeing that it's actually really unique is something that made me really happy. Now there are a couple pros, and there are also a single con that I can pretty much think of. One of the pros is that it's a great sword, and that's probably the most used weapon class in the entire game. It's a pro because pretty much anybody can pick it up. It has a pretty decent moveset to it, a lot of verticals, horizontals, thrustings, and like I said, all in all, really good weapon, really solid moveset. The con that I always point out, which is probably irrelevant at this point in time, is that I don't like the two-handed moveset. I always say it, but that's pretty much because it's true. To people who don't care, or to people who know how to use it, that's probably not even something that you might consider a con, but I point it out, like always, pretty much just because. Another pro for me, and also this is probably for some people and maybe not others, is that it has an S scaling in dexterity. Now if you're running a strength build, this is probably not the sword for you, but if you're running a dex build and you're tired of using the old Mirror Greatsword or the Mirror Greatsword and you need something to kind of change things up, this is definitely the Greatsword that you want to go ahead and pick. Like I said, all in all, it's actually really solid. I really do like it. This was pretty much hand in hand with the Puzzling Greatsword as far as the weapon that I wanted to do for my, I guess, return of weapon showcases. Puzzling Sword ended up taking it over because the Puzzling Sword is just amazing. This weapon, however, is actually not that bad in itself. The base damage, the base physical damage is actually really good. The fact that it has only 50 points in magic and lightning is actually pretty balanced if you think about it, because anything more than that would actually make this weapon pretty powerful, and the points that they decided to put into it is actually not that bad. And for people who are going to infuse it with either magic or lightning, it's not something that's pretty much going to make it the top tier weapon of the Greatsword class. And like I said, it kind of makes sense and it balances out really nicely. I guess another con that I can mention just briefly is that since it is a Greatsword, and as I said before, it's pretty much the most used weapon class in the entire game, people who've come across this weapon pretty much know how to parry it really easily. So if you see people who are trying to fish for a parry, or they look like that's something that they want to do, I definitely recommend changing up the moveset, maybe delaying some of your attacks. Try to do anything to avoid getting parried, because since it is a great sword, it's actually really easy for that to happen. I mention it because I parry people all the time with the great sword. It's pretty much become muscle memory now on when exactly I'm gonna do the parry, and it's become so consistent. And like I said, I'm not even the best parrier, that it's something that people who are using it might want to watch out for. All in all, this weapon is actually really good. I really love the fact that they decided to change it up just a little bit and add 1 extra elemental damage. Something as small as that really make this weapon stand out from any other weapon that is in its class. and it's definitely something that I recommend people trying picking up. Even if you aren't a dex build and you just want to try something different, it has enough base damage in physical, and it also has a little bit in different elements that even though you might not get a benefit off of the scaling, you still will do pretty decent, and you still have a decent attack rating even though you won't get 100% benefit off of it. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. Pick this weapon up, try it out, and let me know how it goes. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, take care.